Do you like basketball? Basketball?
Mm-hmm.
I like, but I'm not good at. Yes, I'm not.
Me too.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the State of the League podcast, the only NBA podcast. Dallas Mavericks.
The spookiest NBA podcast.
What's scariest NBA podcast because it's autumn. And so if you made it through the gauntlet of an intro, the terrifying, if your heart's still beating after that, then you will be rewarded with a wonderful Mavs preview today. I'm your host, Jack, a.k.a. joestar. With me, as always, the world-famous Pablo, and we are joined by Slightly Biased. Slightly, how you doing today?
They're after me. I don't know if you guys hear that or not.
No, yeah. We talked about this yesterday. My air conditioning in my building at this time of year is fucked up because when it dips below 60 degrees, the AC automatically shuts off. But during the daytime, it still gets up to like 80, and so it gets very warm. And so I usually have to have the windows open. Today, though, I'll close them because we have a guest. I'll button up for him, I suppose. But yeah.
No, thanks for having me on. It's been, well, I was going to say it's been an interesting offseason, but it really hasn't in any way, shape, or form. But it has, I am excited that the NBA season is
Yeah,
right
it's almost over, so I suppose that's the best part.
Yeah, I mean, it's preseason. It's the most fun time of the NBA season, I would say, by and large, because everyone's happy.
I know. I was thinking about that. I watched a Pistons preseason game yesterday, and Ron Holland hit like a pretty tough pull-up three, and the announcer was like, I really think we're going to see the evolution of his offensive game this year. And I was like, I love the optimism of the preseason. Yeah. A guy who was like a pure athlete last year, we're going to see him hitting tween hezzies this season. It's really nice.
Yeah, it's the best because any good thing is like, yep, that's happening every game this season. And any bad thing is like, it's
a rush.
You care about preseason?
Yeah.
Come on.
Like, who cares? He's making that shot in the regular season.
Oh, man. That's hilarious. Pablo, have you watched what has your preseason experience?
I have not watched the full game. I've just seen bits and pieces on the internet because a guy like me needs stakes. I need my life to be on the line for the shadow realm. Every point, oh no, I just lost 1,300 life points. My arm, it's gone. And that's the kind of stakes I need. So if it's
that's
just
how I
an
would describe
exhibition,
Bulls basketball.
Oh my God, Bulls
high stakes.
There hasn't been a stake since 2015. And so yeah, so it is.
You describing that just made me imagine an NBA fan who only likes the NBA Cup.
Oh, see,
but doesn't like playoffs either.
Those are stakes, though. That's real, and it's in front of the best.
I'm only here for the cup, and then I'm done after that.
Because the atmosphere is the most locked-in fans in the world in Vegas, so you got to step up for them.
Guy watching the playoffs. This is it's like the regular court, so I don't understand the stakes at all.
Home court advantage.
Guy watching winner go home like the cup.
Neutral site is.
Oh, the court's bright red. This is the most important game of the year. Nice. Oh man. Well, how's your summer been? Slightly. What have you been? You broke your ankle, right?
Yeah, I broke my ankle, and that was my entire summer. So not the greatest, but also not the worst. I just chilled, watched a bunch of movies.
Hell yeah. What's your favorite movie you watched this summer?
Let me think
Or
about
one that
it.
you liked. You don't have to go like firm number one.
I mean, the best movie I watched this summer, I hadn't seen it ever, was Chinatown. But it's all weird because, it's a Roman Polanski movie. But then the movie ended, it's just like, fuck, that was good. But I don't want to say it was good, but damn, that was really good.
Yeah. Pablo watched. Didn't you watch China? I've never seen it.
I watched it with my friends.
But you told me about it.
I had fun with it till the very end, and then the ending, I was like, what the heck? But the
ending was one of the most. It's one of the most horrific endings you could ever imagine, and it's made worse because it's a Roman Polanski movie. And you're just like, what the hell just happened? But it was just so good.
Is it like a twist ending?
Oh yeah.
Damn,
I don't want to spoil it.
I don't know anything about it, so maybe I'll watch it.
I don't even fully.
That's always nice.
I don't really even remember what happened. I just remember how I felt. It's been a few years.
Yeah, it's you leave it feeling horrible about life. So
okay,
it's one of those.
Hey, the days are getting shorter.
Oh, you know what else was good?
What?
Have you guys ever seen In the Mood for Love?
No.
No.
I put a bunch of like artsy movie on here. It's like it was like a, I think it's a Chinese movie.
Ooh,
2000.
okay.
No, it was really good. It was based in Hong Kong, I think, or something like that.
I see a lot of hype for
Damn.
Hong Kong cinema. I've never seen any of them though.
Yeah, I mean it was beautiful. Like the colors were just incredible.
The character of Hong Kong really shone through.
Actually, yeah, seriously, that was it.
Where
It was one of those things.
where is it? So you have the waterfall going on most of the time, right? Or is it all the time?
Mhm.
Is that a real waterfall
all the
or is
time.
that fake? As in, like,
Yeah, this is
it's not there. But, like, is it a real?
This is in
place?
McKinney, Texas.
Oh, okay. So you.
Yeah, this is a nice spot in McKinney.
Nice.
That's a character
Have
in your
you-
stream, McKinney, Texas.
Right.
McKinney
yes.
Falls.
It's an artistic decision.
Have you ever considered you should hook up like, I know they have live streams of like bears like fishing in streams in Alaska. You should do that behind
Yeah.
you. That could
Get
be the
brutal
move.
though.
Well, I think this started because on a stream, the Mavericks were playing horribly or something, and I put this on as like a Serenity thing, and everyone was like, "That's actually nice." And I like
It's
it.
actually vibey.
Yeah.
Well,
That
wait. So if
rocks.
but it's not. If someone go and stand in front of the camera? Is it like or is it just a recorded like 20 seconds of it or something?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just its own character in the thing. It's an artistic decision. I don't want to speak for him.
Because I'm thinking
Speak
like,
for them.
what if one day you're just talking and like someone commits a murder behind you and they
That would
dump
be
the body
incredible.
in the falls?
I'm here for that.
That'd
honestly.
be good for views. That'd be good for.
That would be great for
And it'd be a
views.
shame that someone
Hell yeah.
died, but that's not up to you. That
Right, not
doesn't
the
have
murder,
nothing to do with
but-
you. So
Yeah, it's completely out of my control.
Unless if the murder victim was a really bad person, and the murderer was acting as a vigilante of sorts.
It was Jerry
then
Reinsdorf.
Maybe we can.
oh,
Right. Well, I don't know.
Boom! We
I'm
got
on
him.
shows that are credentialed, so I
Okay. I'll timestamp it. But that's a regular occurrence there.
I'm not credentialed. The people on the shows are credentialed.
It's so funny because sometimes I still I would apply for a Wizards press credential just to see if I could get it, and I don't think I've heard back once from them.
Really?
And I can't not even a rejection, just like straight up
no motion.
And so, I mean, I can't.
That's
I
actually
can't-
kind of surprising.
I don't know. I can't figure there's that many people covering the Wizards, but whatever. I don't think they'd open my YouTube link or whatever and be like, "Yep, this is the guy. This is our guy for sure." So yeah, but no big deal, I guess. So you're here today to talk about the Mavs. I suppose we can get into that. I guess the first question. So I sent you the 5 general standard questions we're asking. At least all our competitive teams. We tweaked it for the Hornets episode because a lot of these don't really apply. But yeah, so we can lead off. Were you happy with how your team's season went last year? I would say you're probably the most interesting possible guy that we've asked about this
More
because it was.
complex than
I mean, the
Chinatown.
dust has really settled on the Luka trade, and so you have just like a full retrospective look at the season last year. What are the vibes like? How are you feeling?
Well, I mean, it's interesting because I did like a full season retrospective thing on my channel, and I just totally forgot because of the trade. But like things were horrible up until then. Like the Mavs were incredibly injured. Luka was already out for a month plus at that point. Derek Lively had been out for about a month at the time of the trade. So everything, and they were just around 500. Just losing game after game in January because they were so injured. So the vibes are already pretty terrible up until the trade, and then it just cratered after that. Yeah, I mean, it was one of the most nightmarish fan experiences I've ever had last year. Just ups and downs, but it was one of those seasons where once the season ended, you're just like, thank God. Like, I'm just so happy this season is done and we can move on.
Yeah.
But definitely one of the most interesting seasons I would say a team has ever had in the history of the NBA. I mean, just from a roller coaster emotional perspective. But yeah, I was going back and I was looking. I was like, man, there's only maybe 1 or 2 weeks there at the course of the season early on where it was like, all right, things are starting to click seriously for this team. But outside of that, it was just bad the entire time.
Pablo, you have to talk. Somebody's vacuuming right outside my door right now. So perfect. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is so How are you feeling towards Nico Harrison? My hatred has not faded at all, but I've seen some splinter factions of Mavericks fans have come around to the fake Nico Grandmaster plan.
So I honestly, I keep seeing, people say like Nico stands and stuff. I have never interacted with one ever, like a serious one. Sure, there's trolls, obviously, but I've never interacted with a serious one. I mean, I'd say his approval rating is 0 right now, just because of the trade. It is such an interesting dynamic because up until then, everyone loved him.
He was shrewd.
We went to the finals. He was aggressive. His moves paid off. There's a few moves that didn't work out, but by and large, his moves had paid off. And then, I thought he did a good job this offseason too. So I still think it'd be better if the Mavs just ripped the Band-Aid and moved on from him, ripped off the Band-Aid and moved on and just kind of reset with this group. But they're not going to do that. And, it is what it is. But yeah, I'd say the temperature is still very hot for Nico Harrison.
Is his life expectancy on the job still low? Because right after the trade, he's like, I'm probably only going to be here 3 years. Is that still the tone?
Oh, I think if the Mavs are a disaster this year, it's the easiest thing for ownership to fire him. Like, that's the easiest sort of get out of jail free card they have at their disposal right now. So I'd say, yeah, if they're terrible this year, he's probably going to get fired. But they've obviously put a ton of trust in him. So if he wants to be here and they're good, he'll be here for a while. Him and Kidd, they have like the ultimate trust of the organization. So, I'm much higher on Kidd than I am Nico, but we'll see. It is. I think ownership just holds on to this free card where it's like, all right, if we're terrible, we're going to fire Nico, and that'll get us like 150% boost in our fans' vibes.
Yeah. Sorry. This guy's still going. So, at least I'll have a clean fucking hallway after this, but I can't think right now. As far as firing, I don't know. Like, I feel like, yeah, I agree with that concept that it's just like a free card and to kind of like pass the buck. It's just, do you know of any, like, do you think change would come from within the franchise? Like, is there anybody else in his like circle that you think the Mavs would hire, or would they just like go out looking for a brand new GM at that point?
I know they love Michael Finley, but I think him and Nico are just so. Michael Finley's the assistant GM. I think they're just so intertwined that I think they'd probably both get fired. I'd have to say I think the Nico circle is small, so I don't know if there's too many people that are, next in line waiting in the wings for the job. So they'd probably go on the outside. I haven't given it too much thought because I really don't think it's going to happen. And people got mad at me because people were like, they need to fire Nico tomorrow, and I was like, dude, honestly, that would piss me off even more if they were just like, yeah, dude, trade Luka if you want, and the next day they're like, wait a second, actually, you're fired, and we didn't want you to do that. That would piss me off even more. Like, he's got to see this thing out, in my opinion. But I don't know. It'd have to be a disaster season, I think, for the Mavs without injuries, which I don't really think will happen. But you never know, really.
That's like I feel like that leads into the next question pretty easily. Will this season be different than last season? Almost certainly, one way or another. It would be very difficult to replicate last season 1-to-1. But as far as so what does a good season versus a bad season for the Mavs look like? How likely do you feel like that disaster scenario is? And we could talk, I guess first we can have injury sliders on, and then we could also talk a scenario where they are healthy. Do you feel like it's pretty concrete that they'll be a very solid team?
Yeah, so after the draft lottery, I'd shifted my focus towards, I don't really care what they do this year. I just want Cooper Flag's development. Everything's Cooper Flag now. But as the season's gotten closer and I just have started looking at every team across the league.
Fake demon. You're a fake doomer. You want the Mavs to be good, baby.
I am a fake doomer. I am not a real doomer at all. I am a fake doomer. But, the more I look around, I'm like, this team's really... They have an achievable ceiling that's pretty high relatively to teams around the league and teams in the West, other teams in the West, at least in that little cluster they're in with the Lakers and the Clippers and all those other teams. But I think if they're over under right now is 41.5 wins, which I think is perfect. Not because I think they're going to be a 500 team, but I think it's perfect because it's the median of the outcomes. I think you could see where it's. If they're healthy, relatively healthy, I think they'll be around a 50-win team. I really do. I think they have They have a regular season formula that I think can be successful. They got a lot of depth. They've got size that can overwhelm teams. They'll play good defense. They'll get out and run. Like, that's a formula to win regular season games. It's like we saw the Rockets do that last year. Playoffs with their self-creation and stuff, that's a different story entirely. But, there's also a very obtainable floor where AD plays 45 games and Lively plays 50 games and Kyrie doesn't come back at all or comes back at like mid-March, and then you're a 30-win team. Like, I could see both of those happening, but the ceiling is a lot more achievable than I think people realize is kind of what I'm feeling as we get closer to the season.
Pablo, what do you
So
think about
what kind of ceiling is that? Is that, in your mind, playoff series win or anything further?
Well, I think they could get home court in a playoff series. I think they can be a top 4 seed. And, yeah, I think depending on the matchup, I think they could definitely win a series or two. If they pull a smaller Western Conference team, and let's just say Kyrie's back by the playoffs and is 80%, and they make a trade. I mean, they've been the most aggressive trade deadline team in the NBA since Nico. They've made a franchise-altering trade deadline move every single year Nico has been here. So they'll do something, I assume, to address some guard questions or maybe a wing or something like that. But, yeah, there's definitely matchups I could imagine in the West where, yeah, they should be favorites to win, assuming they're healthy and things go well. But I think, maybe a series win or two. I don't think they could beat the Nuggets or the Thunder, to be honest with you. But
and what's
that's why they play the games, though.
what's the optimistic timetable now for Kyrie?
There's still Christmas truthers. I just don't think that's
Christmas. Chris
Santa
Pringle,
would
Santa
not
Claus?
let us down. That is our gift.
Christmas? Goddamn.
There's Merry Christmas, people. I'm a Happy Holidays guy. I don't think Christmas is in the cards. I would say like All-Star break is the most realistic. Not slow playing it, but just safe playing it. Get him. Make sure he's 100%. I have to imagine, if I had to guess, it'd probably be like, all right, there's like 3 or 4 games leading up to the All-Star break where nobody gives a shit about him at all. Let's play those, and Kyrie will be on a minute restriction. We go into the All-Star break. Now during the All-Star break, you're getting your conditioning up, and then boom, post All-Star break, it's like Kyrie's back. Would be my guess.
Yeah, that seems, because like honestly, the Christmas timeline, I'm like, I really don't think like a Mavs path to success this year is going to be like 65 wins, baby. The engine is fucking rolling. And so like I think just getting him back as soon as possible is not the move. It's more like, maintaining like a threatening position in what will be a stacked Western Conference. Like, you won't have the ability to just kind of like coast on a pretty good roster. But I don't know, you have Anthony Davis. And I agree with what you said, where like I think a lot of people in the aftermath of the Luka trade kind of don't rate this roster where it should be, just because maybe there's not like a top 3, top 5 player on it anymore. But really, top to bottom, it is a crazy team. They're enormous, and outside of like the guard play, I really like how it's put together. Like, I think they'll be incredibly difficult to score on, and I think if you just get like a couple productive seasons from some key guys, there'll be a team that would just be like really annoying to draw in the first round.
Yeah, for sure. I think a big reason too is after the Luka trade, there's so many like self-deprecating Mavs fans, and so for the longest time, it's the easiest sort of banger tweet, like, oh, Nico's a dumbass, right? Mavs fans, it's like, yeah, we hate his guts too. And then so I think that's part of it. Like, the Mavs are just easy to be very negative about, because our own fans are very negative about them. I mean, that's just the reality. But yeah, I mean, I agree with you. There's definitely concerns about their guard rotation, but it really kind of depends on how Flag looks, and if they're going to be really fast this year. That's the thing that we haven't really seen a Mavs team be fast in a while, and they're going to be
really
a very
in the absence of Luka. Yeah, we were just kind of like slobby and like slow recently.
What is the most recent fast Mavs team?
Years, probably.
They were a top 10 transition offense the year they made the finals, I think. Don't quote me for sure on that. They were much faster. But yeah, in the years before that, they were like bottom 3
Are
every
they
year in
ever
pace.
top? Oh wait, so were they good in pace the year they made the finals or no?
Yeah, the year they made the finals, they started to get out and run a little bit more, and just a lot of that was like having Derek Lively, like this really athletic big who would just run the floor, and Luka would just hit him with full court passes and stuff. But yeah, I think this year will be more focused on. That year's a lot of hit-ahead passes and stuff. This year will be like, we're grabbing a rebound, and whoever has it is just sprinting up the floor. Like, I already saw that last night in preseason. I mean, it's preseason, but, that was how they were playing.
Yeah. I don't know. It makes sense just because of, like, a roster full of athletes like that. I do worry a little bit about, like, I guess just the guard play and the overall number of ball handlers. We got in a report AD will be used in a Sabonis-like role.
Oh.
Did you see that at all? And how do you feel about that conceptually?
Yeah, I don't. I think people read that and they just assume that it's going to be like he's going to play exactly like DeMontis Sabonis. I got what they were saying. I mean, it's kind of the Mavs already kind of did this last year with Lively. Like Lively initiated so much Mavs offense last year, even when Luka was on the team, out of the high post and stuff as like a dribble handoff hub. So. Yeah, that makes sense to me. And obviously, the makeup of their team kind of requires something like this. I think more so it's, give AD the ball at the elbow and then we'll do a bunch of different things off of that. And the AD is more skilled than Sabonis is, but Sabonis is a better screener and passer than AD is. But AD's skill might open up some things that you can play off of that. It'll be interesting to see how it all plays out, but yeah, I didn't take that to mean as literally as some people were interpreting it as. It was more so, what's the dude's name? The assistant coach on the Mavs now. I forgot it. But he was with the Kings whenever they implemented that, offense that they had, and he was kind of the architect behind it. Fuck, I forgot his name. Anyways, yeah, so that's not that surprising. It'll be interesting, though. It'll be interesting how much they actually do it. Yeah.
Pablo, do you have anything? Do you want AD to play like Sabonis?
Well, I don't know. I don't know, because what's the most he's ever been tasked with, like a passing load? I mean, probably not ever that much on the Lakers.
Holy
on the
fuck.
Pelicans.
He shut the vacuum off. I can unmute. Oh my god. I've been trying to focus, but my goodness, that was
You
tough.
can spread your wings and fly now.
I guess. Yeah, sorry, Pablo. Yeah. The passing
sorry.
load
Jay
of AD.
Triano. Jay Triano, that's right. Jay Triano.
Shout out Jay.
Interim
Unlocked
Bucks
Sabonis.
coach? Was he that at
Yes.
some point? What? No, I don't know what year that was.
Well, I think he was the Kings coach at one point, too, wasn't he? Anyways, he was on the Kings staff whenever they implemented the beam team offense.
And so, out of all these guards, which you do have a ton of guards, but Kyrie Irving is dead for the foreseeable future, maybe one of the funkiest ones is Brandon Williams. So Brandon Williams went on like a Linsanity run at the end of last year. It was maybe overshadowed by all the masses of Quentin Grimes fans and the Gidlers from the Bulls. Oh, triple double against the Lakers. But how real was that? And how much stake do you have invested in Brandon Williams?
Well, he's an interesting camp watch because he's not on a guaranteed deal, and apparently they love Dennis Smith Jr. So I can't even say for certain he'll be on the team. But I do hope he is, because I don't know how much I want to put stock in the March stuff, but he did look really good. He's quick. He can get into the paint. He's a good three-point shooter. Like, he just does all of those things you'd kind of want to guard off the bench to do. He's really small, so there's only certain ways you can use him, unfortunately. But he played really well for the Mavs last year, and then was really good for him in the play-in games. So it wasn't like it was just these low-stake nonsense games that he was playing well in. But I hope he makes the team. He makes more sense on this team than Dennis Smith Jr., although I do love Dennis Smith Jr. just as a person and a player, and it would be cool to see him on the Mavs again. But, off the bench is like a depth option, is like a we need offense type of guy. I think Brandon Williams is a legit rotation player. I left the season last year thinking that guy can be a rotation player somewhere, probably.
Yeah, so I guess that can lead us into second question, just biggest reservation about the team this year in terms of like if they come up short. Obviously, I think health is like one,
Vacuums
but
back
it's
on.
pretty. I know I can't. Because I love the working class. I love the proletariat, baby. But I'm gonna go yell at a worker. I'm going full
When the
Karen
freaking
right
janitor's
now.
vacuuming during my podcast.
When the janitor's cleaning my building. God. No. So yeah, just talk to me about the guard play. Talk to me about, you got D'Angelo Russell on the roster. I think this is a fair amount of pressure on him to be at least like a serviceable guard, and then it's, I like Max Christie. I love Najee Marshall. I don't know about him in like a serious like on-ball facilitator role, but yeah, just talk to me about the guard play, where you feel it's at right now, and then what you would like to see happen with it over the course of the season.
Yeah, I mean, the guard play is definitely, if not the biggest reservation, one of the biggest ones. But it'd be interesting to see how much they even require out of their guards. I guess that's the ultimate thing, is it's like they want to have Flag kind of be, ultimately they want to be a point forward, obviously. I don't know how much they'll rely on that early in his career. But they want to do a bunch of different things through their forwards and their bigs. So how much is required out of D'Lo other than like, hey, just get us into our offense. If it's slow, if it's slowed down, then hit a couple of threes. Again, I feel like I'm more D'Lo pilled than most people. Like regular season player, I feel like he's kind of good.
I'm D'Lo Doomer, terrorist.
For $6 million. You think he's a terrorist? Yeah, I've seen people who are like, hey, D'Lo in the playoffs, it's like, well, yeah, if D'Lo's a starting guard for the Mavs in the playoffs, then yes, something has gone wrong, and that's not good. Like, I agree with everything you're saying. Like, I agree 100%. But, yeah, I agree for $6 million. It's like the Ayton thing with the Lakers.
Yeah.
Where I think Ayton's the biggest loser player to ever grace the sport, maybe. So I'm just like, this guy is a loser. And then everyone's like, well, he's better than Jackson Hayes. And it's like, yeah, well, I guess that's kind of true. So, that's kind of where I'm at with D'Lo, where it's like, the alternative, yeah, I guess D'Lo's not bad. And I don't want to harp on a random ass preseason game against, the Oklahoma City Thunder Z team, but like D'Lo, I don't know if he ever shot a shot that wasn't a wide open three, and he had like 6 assists in the first half. So it's like, can you just do that? Get the ball up the floor. Hey, AD's running the floor, throw a lob to him, or Lively's running the floor, hit him and let him dunk it. Like, can you get us there, and everything else will just sort of fall into place. Like, that's what I'm hoping we get. It's just, Kyrie's already hurt. And then the rest of their guards, like Brandon Williams, I like him. He's low-key been an injured guy in his very short NBA career. Exum is injured right now. No one even knows what happened. We come into training camp and everyone's like, yeah, everyone's good to go. And it's like, well, besides Exum. It's like, oh, I guess it's just assumed that, well, Exum's just never healthy. So I don't know what's going on with him, but he's an important player for the team. So there is a world where, like, fortunately, D'Lo's been healthy throughout his career, but there is a world where the Mavs just don't have guards on the roster that are healthy, and that is, I don't know what they do in that situation. That would be really interesting.
Yeah,
to see.
that's a little intimidating, because like what you've talked about so far in terms of like emphasis on wings, kind of passing and stuff, and just like almost like point guard by committee. Like, everybody is a capable enough passer that you get good ball movement out of it, but we have seen people throw around this concept of like huge lineups, Cooper Flag, point guard Cooper Flag or something, and it's like, hey, he made some great passes against that Z team that you're talking about. Like, I could not believe some of the guys they were throwing out for OKC, but
Are you referring to Brooks Barnheiser? Because apologize right now if that's what you're doing.
I swear, I think they have a guy named Youngblood on the roster.
Yes, they do have Brooks Barnheiser is actually one of the most recognizable names on their team last night.
Yeah, it was just like, how is this? These are on your roster? I've never
Jazz
even
Gorman
seen
was
this.
there. He was a Mavs trading camp guy.
Hey,
last year.
he was looking
Mavs
pretty
legend.
nice in summer league. Let's not discount him.
No, Jazz is a preseason monster.
Yeah.
I think he made a roster spot for us last year and then got waived. But
Oh, damn it. Yeah, and so, okay, do you feel like the guard play is your biggest reservation about it, or like what other, I don't know, flaws in this roster do you look at and you're like, that's a little intimidating?
well, mine would probably be like what any half court offense would look like, which is probably an extension of the guard play. Those worries would be much lesser if Kyrie were healthy going into the season. But yeah, the idea of, hey, we're just going to block a bunch of shots and you're not going to get anything at the rim and you're going to have to bomb bad threes and we're going to get long rebounds around the floor. That's all cool, but then the moment you get into a game where it's like, this game's really slow, maybe the other team's hitting shots, now we got to get into some stuff in the half court. That's my biggest concern. I don't think they'll be a good offense. If they're a top 10 offense, I'd be shocked. Like, that's kind of where I'm at. So that would be my biggest reservation. They just didn't shoot any threes last year after the trade. That's also a big thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
Getting D'Lo will help in that front. And there's been people who aren't super sold on Cooper Flagg's shot translating immediately. I don't really get why. He shot 40% from three last year in college, and everything that I've heard out of camp is his shot looks fantastic. So if he's a good three-point shooter immediately, that's a pretty big deal, I would say. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, I mean, it's definitely any sort of half-court offense or anything like that is where I would say my biggest concern realistically is. Like, really, like, outside of injuries is number one, obviously.
Yeah,
that being said, though.
Where are you at with
Pablo, what do you think?
with Jaden Hardy? And so he's a guy who had a lot of high school pedigree, went to G League Ignite, disappointed, ended up on the Mavs, and he's shown some signs of life throughout the years. Like he is very much a gunner, but he does have some like legit scoring talent. Is there any way that it's like we've cleared the floor for Jaden Hardy, he can finally blossom into his butterfly wings, or are you just like stay on the bench, buddy, come out and chuck some threes sometimes?
If there was a single team that was willing to trade for Jaden Hardy this summer, he'd be off the Mavericks. I'm telling you that right now. So that's kind of where I'm at with him. I mean, I wanted him to be really good, and yeah, I mean, you look at his stats. Anytime I look at his stats, I'm like, oh my god, he was 39% from three last year. Like, he's like near 38% on his career. Like, okay, but then you watch him, and it's just not there. I don't think he's an NBA player, honestly.
You don't think he's an NBA?
He's not an elite enough shooter, which he would have to be because he doesn't do anything else particularly well, and he's not a good decision maker, really. He's not really like super talented as a creator, not like athletic enough. I think I remember me and Nick, who I do Locked On with, Nick was always like, can he be Anthony Simons? I was like, he's not like as springy as Anthony. Like, Anthony Simons is like a very good athlete and obviously a flamethrower from three. Like, he's just not any of those things. So I wish him the best. He seems like a really cool dude and a nice kid, but
Nice.
Have you guys started calling players kids?
No.
Not yet. I could get on board with it. I was gonna say it's cool. It's always nice getting someone on who's like kind of in the sphere of the players, because like we're so far removed that I always try to talk about athletes as human beings, but it is very easy to just slip into, yeah, Jaden Hardy fucking sucks or whatever. And so for him to be like, seems like a great guy. Like, I don't think I've ever said that on this show.
Yeah, I mean, I always say with him because I am hard on him because I don't think he's an NBA player. That's a mean thing to say. It's like, yeah, I just don't think he's it's the same with Omax, who the Mavs got rid of. It's like, that guy's not an NBA guy. No offense to him.
Yeah.
Wish him the best. But
Do you remember when
Mavs are dirty this summer, so I'm gonna start calling players kids because it's fun.
Do you remember when Bill
He's a good
Simmons was
kid.
like, Jalen Green sucks, and then there was like an outrage cycle, and you had to like have him on the podcast and be like, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
That is hilarious.
I never want to get to that point. I always want to I want to be able to say whatever I want, and if an NBA player ever sees it, I will default to being like, well, I'm a loser. Why do you care about my opinion,
Yeah.
dude?
Oh,
Fucking
that's
nerd.
Everyone who replies to Kevin Durant, oh, I thought you were rich and tall and millionaire. You're a You're more of a loser for replying to me, idiot.
I love that. That's great. Katie actually replied to something of mine this summer.
What was it?
Which is funny.
What did he reply to? Was
I
it
went on.
positive?
I don't even remember what I said. It was so tame. I went on KOC show and was just like, "Oh yeah, it's hilarious that the Thunder or the Rockets are playing the Thunder night one in OKC because KD's petty about this type of stuff." So I think KD's
I do feel like it's very easy. He cares.
Yeah.
Like I'm totally like.
Wait, so what?
It's fine. Whatever.
No,
Then Katie said, "What have I ever been petty about?" And I was like, I'm not even gonna get it. I'm not even gonna get into a Twitter spat here.
When have I ever shot a pull-up elbow jumper, dude? Name one time.
People were like adding me for a week. They're like, "Are you ever gonna reply to this?" I'm like, "No."
Hone him back. Hone him. Show everyone. There's a tweet you can craft that'll get everyone on your side.
I see like KD get into these spats with these guys a lot, and immediately I think I'm like, KD's kind of getting shitted on here. Like, but of course he has his minions, so he would. He wins the ratio battle every time. But I'm like, he is kind of getting made to look a fool.
I've seen
here.
him lose it. There's a few times, and like every time I've seen him lose it, it's been like some faceless account being like, bro, you have no fucking kids and you're a fucking loser. You're unmarried loser. And it's like, how did this work? But then he adds like it's just everyone who hates KD comes out of the woodwork to be like, finally, someone's preaching the truth.
Dude, that would be hilarious if it was like a reporter went that route and not like a no-name account. It was like, dude, why don't you get a kid?
Ramona Shelburne just tweets it out. Kidless KD. and he only talks about basketball with the dumbest people on the planet. Like Jacob the Clipper is basically like a post aneurysm.
Oh.
Like that's the levels
that guy
we're
is
talking
one of the
about.
funniest accounts.
And Kevin Durant will
That's
engage him as if like it's like he's walking into like a Ben Shapiro debate. He's like, I'm going to change Ben Shapiro's mind on this issue.
I'm a good fit.
I've thought of a really
debate.
good argument. And then it's like, no, the 90s were inherently better.
One of my lifelong goals has been I want to make an account like Jacob the Clipper and have it be me, but no one knows it's me. And I'm just like one of these annoying ass troll accounts. But I don't have the patience.
It would be sick, because like I don't know. I think Twitter payouts still suck. I did Twitter payouts for like 2 months, and I did pretty good numbers, and I got like $10 for it. And so I was like, that's not worth it to me. If it was more lucrative, I would farm hate. Like I would be like I would just have an alt where I'm like, yeah, dude, it's, you know what? It wasn't the 90s. The 80s were even better than that or something, and just get like 10K per tweet.
Well, what would your persona be?
Where it's like actually the bubble season was the best basketball ever.
It might be, honestly.
That's what I'm saying.
It might have been.
Are we removed enough from the bubble where it's like they don't make them like this anymore? It's like a 2023 clip. Like they don't do this anymore in the league.
Hell yeah, that would be sick. Where it's just like fans ruin it because you guys are distracting, and so it's like you could be on a screen on the side. We can zoom you in or whatever. You can get on a phone call, but the players are trying to focus. Their wives and kids can be there, and no one else.
God, that was so funny when they had the video of the fans, and it'd be like Lil Wayne. It'd be like a celebrity, some random guy, and they're just sitting there staring at the webcam.
My favorite clip was like a guy. There was two guys next to each other, and one of them pretended to like kiss to his left, and the other guy was like, "Stop, no!" And he like ducked out of frame. I don't. Just what a ridiculous.
Didn't Westbrook
fucking
like
moment
yell at someone's family or his own family or something like that? Dude?
Yeah, they were playing.
Was it Rajon Rondo? Was it?
I can't remember exactly. I just remember he was screaming, and then it cut, and like it was like three wives holding 3 infant babies. That he was like in an empty gym. There's no one else to even be screaming at.
See
that's
what creates the best basketball, because it's more primal. It's all men and their women and children, and so you have to assert dominance over everybody. And that's why except Michael Porter Jr. He was good, right? No, he was horrible in the bubble, wasn't he?
I think he was pretty solid.
I think he got cooked defensively,
remember.
and they kept taking him out.
That's a weird moment in time, because like Jeremy Grant was still like the default wing for them, and he was better than Michael Porter Jr. in the bubble. But I feel like he at least had like a couple big threes for them, like a couple memorable moments. I don't know.
You slightly.
God,
you should
made the conference finals.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Slightly, you should become a Dirk guy the way that there's Kobe guys. You need to have the graphs set up. Do you know about 824 Mambalytics? He's got like 1,000 different graphs that he just replies to. So Dirk needs a shooter like that.
Oh, there could be a market there.
I feel like it'd be easy, because Dirk, it's like, well, I mean, I guess it's not that easy, because like if somebody really wanted to dig into, well, he was a choker for a long time before the 2011 ring, but you could probably just keep spamming 2011 and it would work. Yeah.
No, see, I wouldn't do any graphs, because you can't. The thing is you can't argue with someone who's like, I don't care about that. Like, look at this 40 piece he had against the Thunder in 2011.
True.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't care about that. Well, deep, I don't care.
I don't care. I'm not worried about it. You see, he literally never missed a free throw in his life, dude.
Yeah.
When he was born, his dad said, God, if this kid misses a free throw, kill him. And he's still alive to this day. So that's how it went down.
When you have a guy like that, when your best player's like that, you really take it for granted. When he just doesn't miss free throws.
Oh, I know, because Jokic fucking trolls all the time. There is never a moment in my life where Jokic goes to the free throw line in the clutch, and I'm like, yep, we're locked in, baby.
Yeah. That's Luka's like that too.
It's so stupid. Because it's one thing for LeBron, buff ass, to be bricking free throws. But if you're a guy who shoots, 38, 40%
with European
from
skill.
three, if you're skilled European, not like the urban flair of these American players, a real transcendent European guy, missing for
fundamental.
Yeah, exactly.
2011, Dirk was 95% from the free throw line in the playoffs.
I'm telling, and I swear, he went in the finals. It was crazy because Chris Bosh
he had a 50+ stretch. I think it was.
Yeah.
That's like Bryce Sensabaugh numbers.
That is.
Is he a dog at the free throw line?
Pull up his stats. You're gonna be.
I know he's a mid-range maestro.
He's had one of the best 9 starts to a shooter's career in history.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, he's 89% from the free throw line on his short career.
I'll look for the combination stat. It's in my Twitter log, so I'm gonna.
Okay, I don't want to hear the combo stats again. I've heard him. I'm gonna go insane.
42% from three.
Yeah.
Games?
What
was going on in Utah, man? Did I watch a single Jazz game last year? I'm trying to think.
If you
now.
did, he was probably on the bench because Will Fraudy was playing Colin Sexton and Keontae George over him.
Oh, okay. I was a big Keontae guy, but he's I don't know.
I like him in the
We don't have
draft,
to
but I
talk
think
about
it's
that.
over.
Yeah. Well, Clarkson's gone. Sexton's gone. Hopefully they can get some burn this year. But I don't. Okay, actually, I'm not falling into the fucking. I'm not falling into the trap.
One last thing, because I found it. So shooters that shot at least 40% from three, at least 89% from the free throw, at least 39% from three. And what's the thing? I forget how many shots this is, but Steph Curry, Ray Allen, Steve Nash, Peja, J.J. Redick, Mark Price, Bryce Sensabaugh. End of list.
It's a pretty good list.
Pretty good.
Guys.
All right, I'll buy some Bryce Sensabaugh stock.
Guys, cut up an edit of me telling every guest this, and then put it together at the end, because I have brought it up every episode.
Well, can I interject? Because we do have breaking news. I just looked on Twitter, and the LeBron decision has been made.
Is it an ad?
What is it? Amazon Prime?
A Hennessy ad.
Hennessy.
Oh. Okay. Oh my God.
What's the choice? What's the joke? Like, I'm just choosing my Hennessy.
I don't know. I'm not watching this minute-long slop.
Yeah, I mean, that's like the screenshot of it. When he sat down, I was like, "This is lit like a commercial." This is
there's no way that would. There's no way that would have been LeBron's. Yeah. That's a clever, and he wasted it, because that actually is a clever way to do your retirement announcement.
Yeah,
is to do a play on the decision.
Mm-hmm.
This is like when Snoop Dogg burned giving up weed for the stove ad.
Smokeless fire pit.
Yeah.
That was genius, though. That was a genius marketing campaign. Couldn't remember the brand, though, so I guess it didn't work that well. But
well, that's what I'm saying. It's because I was I liked the gimmick. I was like, well, that made me think for a minute, but there's no way that translated to people buying smokeless fire pits.
I think I did get one for
this?
my dad for Christmas that year, because people did say it is a really good product. So
how do those even work? How do you even have a smokeless grill?
There's a big one and a mini one, and it's not truly smokeless, but I forget how it works. But it is a good product.
Okay, so if I put it in my apartment, all of a sudden I'm gonna die.
I got a small one for my dad for his RV.
Oh, that's nice. What did I just ask? Biggest reservation about the team? Okay, we could talk about exciting players this upcoming season. I mean, we could just do Cooper Glaze, but is there? So let's save it. Is there anyone besides Cooper that you feel like is the biggest X factor to the Mavericks' success this season? And then we can get to Mr. Flag.
Yeah, so I'll give my Derek Lively spiel, because anyone that will listen, I'll give it to. I am so high on Derek Lively. He's my Bryce Sensabaugh, 100%. But I'd say hopefully Derek Lively has a more attainable, more realistic pathway to reaching his ceiling than Bryce Sensabaugh. but I don't want to
Well,
take
his
the Bryson
coach will
stuff
play
away.
him, so that's a big step in the right direction.
That's true. I think Lively, and I think if he plays 65, 70 games this year, which he hasn't come close to doing in his career, to be fair. But, he's played 2 years and he's had a few freak injuries. But if he can get to 65, 70 games, I think he'll make an all-defensive team. He was one of the most impactful defenders in the NBA last year. Supposedly, he's grown 7'3". I never know what to make of any shit like that. But he's a huge human being, and he's a very good athlete, very fluid, moves really well, can guard in space. He'll be one of the best defenders and most impactful defenders in the league if he plays a lot of games. And then you pair that alongside AD, then, yeah, that's one of the best defensive front courts. I mean, that is the best defensive front court in the league, I would say. I don't know who else would really be in competition. I guess
Probably
maybe
like
the Bucks.
Chet and like Hartenstein.
Chet and Hartenstein, Giannis and Miles Turner, but
Mobley and Allen, I guess.
I don't rate Miles. I'm out.
I don't
on
rate Miles, and I don't think Giannis has been that great defensively.
Yeah.
At least
I'm huge on Derek Lively though, like because we just did our 25 under 25, and he was around the end, because I do think like ceiling we're still talking like firm role player ish, but when I was making the list, I just was looking around. I was like, should Klingon be here? Should Edie be here? And then Lively like popped into my brain, and I honestly feel like he's probably underrated at this point, because it's been a minute since we really saw him have like a full good like healthy season like you're talking about, and
he felt so
also
tethered to Luka. So
yeah, I feel like the departure of Luka, everyone was like, okay, well this guy's fucked now, and it's definitely like life is harder for him, but I still really like that just archetype of like he could do these things at a really good level, and we've seen guys build 15-year careers off of doing these things.
Yeah, and I mean it's all. I mean the thing with Lively is he's played 91 games in his 2-year career, so he just has not been able to stay on the court, unfortunately. And his numbers with Luka, surprisingly, like he's been more efficient when Luka last year he was more efficient in games without Luka. I mean, he's a dunker, so like his field goal percentage is high, right? Like it's not like he's shooting mid-range jumpers or anything like that.
Corners where he comes.
His numbers surprisingly did not fall off, because I've seen the same narrative where it's like, oh, he wasn't as good without Luka, and it was like, I really wasn't. I mean, he just didn't play that much. He came back, the Luka trade happened, he had a broken foot. And then by the time he came back, there's like 2 or 3 games left of the season, something like that. So he just didn't see much of it. But he played a lot in January when Luka was out, and he looked fine. I mean, I think he's point guard proof at this point. Obviously, you need somebody on the floor who can pass to him. But Flag can do that, D'Lo can do that, AD can do that.
Yeah.
So I'm not all that worried about that. And his touch did improve last year around the rim. His free throw shooting got better around last year, which is very encouraging, because it was awful his rookie season. So if that can get to a passable point, then we're good. But I just think defensively, he's rare. I think he's like a real legitimate defensive anchor upside potentially. I like Edie. Edie's obviously a massive human being. Klingon obviously is a great rim protector, but like Lively can move really well. So they switch him out on the perimeter. He holds his own. So I just think, I'm super high on him. He's a really good passer too, and a great screen setter. Like he does all those things really well. So I just think if we can get a full season of him, I think people will be pretty surprised when they sit down and look at Lively's year, and he's like, oh my God, their defense was 13 points better when he was on the floor, and opponent shot 11 percentage points worse at the rim. Like it'll be, I don't want to say prime Gobert shit, but it'll be like close to some of those seasons.
Well, especially with the bolster of Anthony Davis, it could be like prime Gobert, like statistically and everything. Yeah. Just because I mean, I agree. Best defensive front court in the league when they're on the floor together, probably. And I also, like the passing between the two of them, I am very interested in that. I don't know about like straight pick and rolls between them or anything, but I think one of them in the dunker spot, and like I think it would be very easy to just have them, I think the Thunder do it a lot with Chet and Hartenstein, where it's like somebody catches it in the elbow and the other guy's just like below the basket waiting for it. I think that like off rip, most teams just don't have the ability to like guard 2 7-footers at the same time. So it is pretty interesting.
Yeah, and that's why there's this Lively Gafford debate kind of internally. And I think Gafford's a great player. He's just not as versatile as Derek Lively is. So I do think there's outcome or games where it's like if Gafford's out there and starting, he's not as switchable on the perimeter, and that could lead to problems for you defensively. But Lively really is that guy. If it weren't for Wemby, like I hate to do the defensive player of the year stuff. If Wemby's healthy, he's winning the next 12 defensive player of the years. I mean, that's just how it's going to be. But if it weren't for Wemby, Chet, Lively, these are guys I think could really win like defensive player of the years, and I think Lively's in that combo for sure.
Yeah, Pablo.
So AD's going to start. AD wants to play the 4 in the regular season, which makes sense. So Lively or Gafford are going to start. What is going to happen with PJ? Is he just relegated to the bench going forward, do you think?
Well, he came off the bench last night. So last night they had D'Lo, Clay, Flag, AD, and Lively was who they started with. And I'd have to imagine that's probably their starting 5. But yeah, PJ would probably come off the bench, I would say.
It's interesting because in addition to these 3 legit bigs, PJ is one of the better like small 4s defensively in the league, and I feel that's where Cooper would play his best defense. But I don't know how much. How do you think they'll deploy Cooper defensively this year? Because I think his best strength is help side rim protection. But if you have the 2 bigs, how much is he even going to be dependent on to do that?
Yeah, I think they'll probably. I mean, it'll be interesting to see when they start to play some of these, teams with really good wings, because I think AD kind of said something after practice once where he was like, yeah, we're going to put Coop on like the premier wings in the league. So that'll be interesting to see because, 18 years old, he's pretty scrawny. He's not like a twig. Yeah. He's not like Chet coming into his rookie year, but he's pretty scrawny. He's got to put on some muscle, obviously, over the next few years. But it'll be interesting. That's kind of a lot to ask out of him. But I'll just be interested to see how this Mavs team plays defense. I think it'll be a lot of what they did a few years ago, where it's like, we're just going to stay in front of you on the perimeter enough, and if you beat us, that's fine. We're just going to scram switch onto someone else because, AD is going to be there. So you're not going to attempt a layup. So I'm just going to get out onto the next guy or something like that. That's how they made the finals. That was their defensive game plan then. It's really interesting. I was thinking about this. Like, PJ and Gafford coming off the bench, that was their starting front court when they made the finals, was PJ and Gafford. So that's a pretty great luxury to have. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how they balance all of these guys.
Yeah, and I mean that's where you were worried about the health and everything, but at the same time, there's like a depth safety net to some degree. Like if AD misses 40 games, it's fucked. That's a car crash or whatever.
Yeah.
But if peripheral guys, miss 10 games here or there, not only are you safe because of the depth, but it also it gives you opportunity to like try out a bunch of different lineups. And I agree with like the bench PJ Gafford, because it's like I would kill for that off the bench in Denver.
Yeah.
Like it's just to have that coming off against like most teams' backup units. I think that would be crazy.
And I'm interested to see how they close games too. We've seen this all throughout Kidd's tenure. The starting lineups rarely ever close games because in the playoffs still, like Gafford. I mentioned Gafford and PJ were the Mavs starting, front court in the playoffs, but Lively was getting a lot of closing minutes over Gafford then.
Yeah.
Like a few years ago when they made the Western Conference Finals, Dwight Powell was the starting center. He played maybe 6 minutes a game in the playoffs. Like he would start games and come out and that would be it.
It's subterfuge. We're tricking them.
Yeah.
They're gonna game plan for Dwight and we're not even gonna play it.
Yes. So they've always been creative with their closing lineups, and that's what I'm interested to see because there will probably be times where it's like, you know what? We can put PJ out there too and just take like Clay off or something.
Yeah.
And we'll just be ginormous. I'll be interested to see. I think a lot of that will have to do with what does Coop look like right away guarding these like NBA perimeter guys. If it's passable, if he can take on like a guard, maybe not like an Anthony Edwards, but like a Malik Monk or something. If he's comfortable guarding those type of guys, then all right, that allows us to do a bunch of different things. But yeah, it'll be interesting. There's a lot. It might be a little bit ugly early on. That's just the truth.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've been thinking about this because it's tough to kind of balance this thing where I do think the Mavs are a team that can like make a playoff run where at the end of it you say, hey, if Kyrie's back in the swing of things next year, that is a team that could like really contend. But you have to balance that with a rookie season, it's not going to be perfect from Cooper Flag. Like, I think there
Right.
will be like some serious learning curves at least a couple aspects of basketball. And so, yeah, especially in the beginning of the year, kind of hammering out all these rotational things that we're talking about, it could be, I don't know. I wasn't thinking about it as ugly, but it could definitely be funky. And do you worry about the Mavs, falling into a hole in this Western Conference where it's just going to be really hard after you're 25, 30 games in to like seriously climb the ranks?
So I'm trying to decide if I'm just being overly optimistic, which, I've been guilty of in the past. But I do feel if they're healthy, and it might look ugly at times. They might drop a game here or there because they just don't, like, late in games, they don't really know who's supposed to be doing what. But if they're healthy, like they remind me so much of the Rockets, and they're not one-to-one comparisons, but in the sense that, like, yeah, we have our concerns with, like, half-court playmaking and stuff, but we're just going to be so athletic and so big and just so nightmarish to play against night to night that, like, we'll just win games off the back of that.
Yeah.
Like, we'll win enough games in the regular season and just be annoying enough to, be in a good spot in the standings. So if they're healthy, I kind of think that's where they'll be, But, yeah, if AD, like, tweaks his ankle, knock on wood, next week.
It's a little scary.
I'm very concerned about that.
Yeah. Are you worried about his additional weight at all? I don't think there's been a lot of fat AD on my, like, people are calling him that. I think he just looks buff. But regardless, more weight is definitely something to, like, keep an eye on with him. What do you think about all that? And what is, like, I don't know, the Mavs media sphere? Is it like he's not really that heavy or he has substantially gained weight? Just what are you thinking?
So everything I know from people who have been around him is like, he doesn't look that heavy. Like, he doesn't look fat. But also, he's someone who he puts on weight in the offseason because he loses weight really fast in the season. There's some guys who are like that. I mean, I never cared about it with Luka really either. Once the games start playing, if the games start playing and he's huffing and puffing and has his hands on his knees and isn't running, then I'm like, all right, can Fatty get it going, please? Like, can we get him?
Oh my God!
Can we get him some acai bowls or something and, like, get this right? But until then, I don't really care.
That's I mean, I literally did that whole thing with Jokic for like 4 years where he would, because, like, before he was really like this kind of player, he would be this kind of player in March, but from like November to February, he would be just like straight up unplayable. Like, he would not run, he would not play on defense, he would like be gassed on the bench, and it would be like, dude, can we just work out a little bit? And so, yeah, I understand that frustration. Going back to how you just like the Rockets allegory, though, I do see the vision there a lot in terms of defense is just kind of a cheat code right now. Like, if you're a high-level defense, you just kind of are in every game. And if you lose some clutch games, it's like, okay, we're not getting blown out twice a week. And so we can just kind of remain where we're at in the standings. Like, it's insane that the Rockets just did with what they did with that offensive core. Like, I feel like the Mavs should be better offensively. Like, they have more pieces where it's not like, oh, you're a 0 on this end of the floor, or you're like barely a 1 on this end of the floor. Yeah, and so I don't know. I'm not that worried about them falling into the standings in a hole like that, but they do stuff is scary, I guess. Pablo, what do you think?
I just got a brain blast flashback to last year. When they made the AD trade, there was a while where the Lakers were better on defense, and part of that was driven because they were just ultra try-hard mode, like their motor ramped up. But also, one other explanation I saw was that that AD did have a tendency to be lazy in transition defense and wouldn't run back as much. And there were numbers supporting it. I don't have those numbers right now, but
they were there. They were there.
So I do wonder if that'll factor in at all with this Mavs defense. Do you know anything about that, Slightly, or no?
Yeah, I mean, I know the AD defensive stuff transition. I will say that those Lakers teams just never really had athletes at all. So I think that probably factors in a little bit. But yeah, I mean, that is a concern. I know what you're talking about, that their transition defense was just way worse when AD is on the floor. But and if you're going to play fast, that is a concern. But I guess if it gets evened out by you just being a nightmare rim protector, and if the game is slow, you're not going to score, then hopefully hopefully him playing the 4. He said this. It's a lot playing the 5. It's hard on his body. This, that, and the third. So hopefully him playing the 4 makes it so, hey, I can get up and down in transition now because I'm not having to bang with these centers every minute of the game.
Yeah,
you
hope so. I mean,
I hope so. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, because the AD playing the 4 stuff, sometimes it reminds me of when Paul George. We always reference a series of quotes he had where when he was with the Clippers, he was like, "Well, I don't want to have to do everything. I don't want to have to dribble the ball all the time." And then they take him off the ball, and he's like, "Well, I never get in the flow of the game. You're just asking me to do all this role player shit." And so the AD playing the 4 stuff, I think there's a lot of truth to it because you want to play how you want to play if you're one of the best players in the world. But at the same time, it does kind of set things up for it starts grating your nerves a little bit. 30 games in, where it's like, dude, I gave you a couple, I gave you the 4. Can we get some fucking sprints out of you, please?
Yeah. And I mean, it's just really interesting because if the Mavs didn't have Lively and Gafford, I would be saying they're just, whatever they're saying to him is probably just, to make him happy, and he's going to play a lot of 5. Mm-hmm. But with Lively and Gafford, I don't know. I mean, I'd like to think there will definitely be times where it's all right, we need to be a little bit more versatile on the perimeter. So, AD, you're going to have to play the 5. Mm-hmm. To close this game, it's going to have to be you at the 5. And they'll do that, I'm sure, from time to time. But again, I'm also I love Lively so much. I'm maybe you do just do. Maybe AD at the 4 does make a ton of sense with this roster.
If you just get, I'm very best players on the floor rather than filling out traditional spots or whatever. And I think Lively and AD that's just an overwhelming thing where if you could just shut off the rim at the ends of games, whatever drawbacks it gives you, it would have to be a lot to kind of overpower that.
Right. I mean
oh no, you could use.
I was gonna say the 80 at the 5 stuff to me would probably be moments where they're down and they need shooting or something to try and get their way back in the game. That would be my guess.
Yeah. Speaking of Paul George, by the way, one of the conflicting quotes he gave was one time, I think on the Clippers when they got Robert Covington and someone else, he's like, they're here to do the dirty work. I don't do any of that dirty work. And then when he went to the Sixers, I think he's like, I'm here to do the dirty work. And it's funny. Someone actually did release a stat the other day where
I was just about to say that.
It was it's like a measurement. It's like a blue collar score almost. They're measuring all the little things. It's screen assists, deflections, loose balls recovered, charges drawn, box outs, and contested shots. And Paul George came in 3rd behind Dyson Daniels and OG Anunoby. So he does the dirty work now. But yeah, so when we look at a team, when we look at comparing the Rockets to the Mavericks, the Rockets should be way more horrific on offense than they are. But they were, I think, a top 10 offense, and it was driven by the offensive rebounding. Do you think the Mavericks have that same kind of potential? And also, if the offense is looking super rough, do you think they'll ever be... The one issue with AD at the 4 is you're kind of locked into, if he doesn't have a great shooting year, then you're locked into rough spacing. That makes Cooper's life harder. That makes D'Angelo Russell's life harder, everyone. And so that knocks down your offense. Do you think they'll ever be driven to change the starting lineup out of necessity and go PJ at the 4, Cooper at the 4? Do you think they'll just say, we're going to program in this area where we might not be so strong, but it's because of the gains on the other end?
Yeah, I think... So whenever I do a Rockets-Mavs comparison, they don't have an Amin Thompson. They don't have the perimeter defenders. I don't know if they'll be as good on the offensive glass as Şengün and Steven Adams were.
But their wings are also crazy. Amin and literally everyone but Fred VanVleet can grab an offensive rebound. It seems like.
Yeah, 100%. And you'd like to think this Mavs team's big enough to where they can be like that, but I don't know. But where I go is the Rockets were, I think, the top 3 defense last year, but they were a league average offense, I think, by just standard offensive rating, or right around league average. That's what I think the Mavs can be. It's bare minimum they have to be an elite defense. None of this matters. Their offense will be, if they're the 11th best defense, they won't be a good team. Like that's kind of where I make that comparison. Like, but they have to be league average offense. Otherwise, you're just the Orlando Magic of the West, where it's like, yeah, we'll lose games 86-84, but we will lose them though because we're just not scoring any points at all.
I'd rather do it the other. I'd lose 146 to 148 or something.
You think so? I've been thinking about that lately because for some reason, all Dallas teams always have horrible defenses. Usually, throughout my life, that has been the case where they'll lose games like that. But now we're starting to make the shift where our baseball team was the best defense ever.
Ooh.
But
Nice.
we lost. We only scored like 1 run a game, and it was just it was horrible. So I was like, which one is worse, actually?
Yeah, I don't know. There's at least more entertainment value because, like, I don't know.
But having a bad defense feels so hopeless, though. Like it's just like, oh, we scored. It doesn't matter because we're going to give up. We're scoring on the other end. But when your defense is bad and your offense has like a good game, like, oh my god, we're going to actually win today.
yeah.
But yeah, I think I don't know. The kid's very stubborn and hard headed on this stuff. So. The problem is it's like, all right, if you are going to say, all right, AD has to play the 5, this thing's not working, what do you do with Lively and Gafford? Like, those two are going to come off the bench. So one of those guys, if they're all healthy, is just not going to play at all.
Hey, if you want to talk about aggressive trade deadline stuff, if that whole path goes down, I feel like Gafford's probably odd man out, and I think a lot of teams would be very happy to add him.
100%.
He's a great backup.
Gafford surviving his contract would be shocking to me. They literally did it. The amount he signed for was the exact amount to where he could still have gotten traded in the offseason. Like literally to the dollar amount.
Subtle. Wow.
Yeah. So I the whole time, that whole contract I think was like hey, we'll pay you. We like having you on the team, but you know.
You might be a Pelican one of these days.
Oh my god.
Or a Laker.
Hey, 8 and 1-to-1 swap, baby. Let's get some touch in here.
Reeves, Gafford for Reeves. Who says no?
I don't know. I'm
Before
so high
Ayton,
on. Yeah,
that was a conversation.
Well, their whole thing, that could be a conversation for sure in February.
Just wait until the Ayton experience really plays itself out.
Yeah. I don't know. So okay, well, I guess let's guard trade targets, because you did kind of tease that a little bit in terms of like they'll probably do something aggressive at the deadline. Do you think Reeves is one of them? Do you think give me like some ideal candidates that you would love to get, and then maybe paint like a more down to earth picture of what you think could happen?
I mean, I could definitely see a scenario where the Lakers are struggling or something. And they're like, fuck, we're not paying Reeves $40 million. Like, Ayton sucks. Like, let's just get Luka his guy moving forward, and that'll just be what we do. I could see that. I'd say it's unlikely. I haven't really thought about it. You know, some Mavs fans are infatuated with Kobe White. And I think he's a great player. I do think he's a great player.
And you could fleece the Bulls easily.
Oh my God.
You could just take him for nothing.
They could literally,
Jaden Hardy and a
for Arturis, you could walk up to him and say, "You get what's in my hand." He said, "What's in your hand?" And then you say, "You don't get to know. It could be something very valuable in this hand." And then he's like, "I accept the trade." Then you go and look in here, and it's the Tom and Jerry. You punch him in the eye, and you say, "Kobe White's mine now, idiot." But yeah, that's
all right. Well, that's all right. Then I'm in on that. I just thought, you know. Okay, you're a Bulls guy actually. What is the Kobe White? I couldn't figure out Kobe White's value at all. I couldn't even in my brain.
It's a smokescreen. We have no idea what's going on with that man's brain.
Well,
It's also too, but it's like those type of players are we just higher on them than NBA teams are? It's like I'm not giving up 2 firsts for Kobe White. That's insane.
Two firsts. I think I would.
It's a little rich.
Yeah, I wouldn't do 2 firsts for him. Unless it's a 2032 first. Do you know about the 2032 draft?
No.
No one's going to sign up. So trade your 2032 picks as soon as you can.
Is that true? Okay.
It hasn't happened yet. So
I'll relay that info.
Check with your sources. See.
That's important to. That's important to know. If you're the first team to realize that, you're in good shape.
Well, the Nuggets. They said, "Oh, you want my 32 pick? Give me Cam Johnson."
The idiot Nets bought into it. But Kobe White, I think Kobe White's a very talented offensive player and a guy who could play a role on a good team because he is very scalable. He's a great shooter, great off-ball shooter, great off-ball attacker, very fast. His playmaking gets better little by little. He's not like a guy you can trust full-time to run an offense, but absolutely a guy who can draft off the gravity Anthony Davis or Cooper Flagg creates. But there is something weird with his contract. I should be a better Bulls fan to know what it is. But there's something that makes it complicated to either pay him or trade him. But also, the brain-dead, boot-licking Bulls fans have turned on him because they're so pro-Giddey that somehow they're pro-Giddey and they're anti-Kobe. And they're like, guys like him can't win with him. And too bad defensively. I'm like, he's probably better than Giddey defensively, but
he is. I'll say that full stop.
But yeah, he's a guy who the league just seems low on, and it's probably just a product of the existing on the most mediocre team for the entirety of his career. And so I would definitely buy low. I think if the Mavs were able to get him, that'd be so funny if we got Daniel Gafford back because we traded Daniel Gafford for nothing. For Troy Brown Jr., I think.
I remember that trade.
Oh my God, what a disaster! But yeah, that would be a
Hutchinson,
major.
wasn't someone like that in the trade too?
We gave
right?
gave Chandler Hutchison, and then they made the playoffs as the 8th seed in Washington. And he just got there at the deadline or whatever, and he put on his Instagram or something. He was like, "Nice to be on a playoff team, pretty nice." And then all Bulls fans hate him forever. They're like, "You were ass here. You never come close to the playoffs. If they were playing you, you suck."
Wait, Chandler Hutchison did that?
Yeah, Chandler Hutchison.
That's hilarious.
Paul George like body, though.
God.
If we could ever get the skill level.
I guess my thing with Kobe White, where I was always like, I don't know about his Mavs fit because they would need him to be like the point guard.
Yeah.
I think he's... So who do you have on the... So D'Angelo Russell's a more talented passer, but he's a pretty erratic decision maker.
Yeah. I just... but it's like if Kyrie comes back and then Kobe White's coming off the bench or something. But then my other thing is like Kobe... Like, if the Mavs still had Luka and needed another guard, like it's like Kobe White's perfect because you already have a big guard. Like, you know what I mean? So Kobe White wouldn't have to. You wouldn't have Kobe White and Kyrie Irving being your perimeter defenders.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But he's somebody who Mavs fans, anytime you talk about a guard trade, he's like number one, I would say.
I mean, I do rate him, especially in terms of like teams kind of desperate for spacing or offense. Like there are certainly trade-offs when you play Kobe White. Just because he's better than Giddey defensively, I don't think that makes him like a positive or anything. But I think he's like a flamethrower from three and like a capable ball handler, enough to be supplementary. But it is just tough. Like if the team is built around Kyrie Irving closing games, it'd be hard to imagine lineups out there that are livable.
But if it's not a high price, like he's great to have off the bench.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of where I was at. Where it's like the whole summer, anytime someone asked me about it, I was like, I don't know what it would cost to get him. Like I really have no clue. These small guards are just, who knows how the league rates any of these people. I don't know really.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of like, especially given like how the Cam Thomas and I mean Grimes isn't like super small, but like just how all of the money has shaken down this offseason where it's like nobody wants to pay anybody, nobody wants Malik Monk. They're trying to like fire sale him for nothing. That's another one. He's another one who always gets brought up. Malik Monk. I wouldn't mind him. He's a little more intimidating just because it's like I don't have a ton of faith in the spacing ability, and so you could have like a very just clunky spacing issue at that point. But I think he does a lot of stuff at a high level. I was never super in on the Monk one, just because, especially after D'Lo, it feels a little too. Not that they're similar. Like D'Lo's a way better playmaker than Malik Monk is, but there's just a little too much overlap there, in my opinion. I'm looking around some of these teams. There were some Deuce McBride truthers who are like, maybe you can get him if like the Knicks aren't like want to pay him and they're looking to get bigger or something. That was always kind of an interesting one. I was like, oh, maybe. There were some Cole Anthony believers where I was like, guys, that would be horrible. I'm sorry. Hey, shout out to a recognizable name. I love it because it's I don't know. Like the Bucks are doing the inverse now. They're like, yep. It's a good off season now.
Like, KPJ, Cole Anthony, we'll take all of them.
Cole Yeah. Oh my God, what a disaster, dude. Okay. Well, I mean, that's pretty much all the questions.
Well, we
I
didn't
had
do
for you in
Cooper
terms
talk.
of-
We said we'll do it later.
Oh, do we want to do? Let's full force Cooper talk.
Let's do it.
I guess we could start with Glaze. What are you most excited about him bringing to the table this season, just generally speaking?
So what I'm so excited about with Coop is like, there were some people, and I always thought it was just hating ass shit, which it was like, hey, this is the worst fit for him. Like, Dallas is the worst. I'm pissed off because Dallas is the worst fit for him.
He should have gone to Charlotte. What the fuck, guys?
Why couldn't he have been on the Brooklyn Nets? But like, I think it's the best basketball fit for him, especially early in his career, because the Mavericks will put him in a position where he just does all the things he's good at right away, and not much will be asked out of him outside of that, right? Like, sure, there'll be some possessions, I imagine, when he's like running the point guard, and they'll experiment with that. They'll do that. Like, that's one of Kid's things. Kid did it with Giannis. Like, if you're a young guy, Kid did it. Kid put so much faith in Lively 2 years ago, and he was a 12th overall center. Where like those guys sometimes take years to develop, and Kid was like, "No, you're going to be our guy immediately." So they'll put him in positions where he'll be the point guard and he'll be doing all this stuff. But I don't think it'll be as often as some people think. It'll be more so, he can be this Swiss Army knife, which he just has such a good skill set for right out the gate, where he can cut and he'll set ball screens for somebody, or he'll come off of a down screen or something, or he'll get a ball screen coming up in transition, and he'll get a rebound and push it and look for his bigs, and all of those things that he's really good at right away, he'll be able to do with this Mavs team. And it is interesting. Like, it's interesting that, the Mavs were a train wreck last year, but you haven't seen a number 1 overall pick come into a situation like this since Tim Duncan. I mean, it's the last time you've seen something like this happen, where a number 1 pick is not only not going on a train wreck team, but is going on like this team might actually be pretty fucking good right away. Like, it's been a long time. So I'm really excited. I think he's going to be great. I don't know if the stats will jump out at you. Like, I don't know if the counting stats will be gaudy or anything like that, but I think he'll be super impactful. And I just think his Swiss, he's so
He's
good.
American.
I think people just
Stop.
be shocked.
He's a Texas
Yeah,
knife.
There you go.
People, I was talking about this last night because people were like, "Do you think Cooper can be as big as Luka?" And I was like, "I think you're really sleeping on the white American. We haven't had
is
there
it
hasn't been a good
popularity?
one since like Larry Bird. Like, it's been a while. It's been a while." And Tyler Hero doesn't really count because someone was like,
No.
"What about Tyler Hero? He was
What
an
the
All-Star this year." I
hell?
was like, "Well, it's a little bit of a different thing."
Yeah.
Cooper Flag will never get cornrows in his life.
Cooper Flag will never get the chest tattoo Tyler Hero has. Like, there's just different. It's a different.
How many
thing.
do-rag selfies we getting out of Cooper? We'll see.
Yeah.
I like that Cooper Flag seems like one of the most boring human beings, and I mean this in the nicest way possible. But like, he'll do an interview, and I was kind of like media day. I'm like, come on, say something.
Get
like,
some more riz.
Say something. He's just like, he's just like, I'm excited. The guy's been really working hard. And it's like,
Nonchalant gimmick. Come on, Coop. Let us
It's like,
in.
all right.
Open up, man.
the media trading.
Yeah, I do. I think I agree. The counting stats, because that's when we talked about him going to a shit team. He could be like 17 points on tough efficiency, just doing everything for a team that has nobody. But I do think it would be cool. Like, he could have one of those stat lines where you look at it and you're just like, damn, that's like 10, 11 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 stocks or whatever, and just be a guy that is constantly like just having his name set, making plays. And so, I don't know. It's when it happened, I will admit, I hate it because it rewards it. Nico Harrison, it affirms everything. When it happened, I was like, no, because now he thinks his plan is working. But as we've grown further and further away from the trade, I really don't think about Nico Harrison anymore. Like, I don't, like, I have a dull hate in my heart for the stupidity that runs generally NBA teams, but. So with that hatred dulling, I do feel like I'm more excited to see, like a number 1 pick that can just come in and not have to like wait around for help to arrive.
Yeah, and also like not going to be put in a, hey, go and be the point guard and shoot 25 times a game. Like, do whatever you want. Like, I don't think that was ever going to be good for Coop right away. But I just love him in this role where it's like, hey, if you grab a rebound, go. Like, do whatever you like. Go push it. Like, bring the ball up the floor, run the floor. You know, do all of those things. But you're never going to have to do it.
Break down
and
Chris Dunn off the dribble right now. Like, that'll never happen. Yeah.
It's stupid ass preseason stuff, but there were some moments last night where Casey Wallace was picking him up full court. And I was like, here we go. This will be a big one. And he did good. I'll give him that. That was like, all right, write that one down, guys.
Oh my God. I can't remember. It was like an OKC mutual. They were just tweeting out hashtag Casey Wallace is Pat Bev. Hashtag sell high. We got to get off this guy.
Wow.
I saw that tweet.
Yeah.
I thought he played good last night.
I'm saying, hey, if Pat Bev's my fucking 9th guy, I'm probably pretty happy.
It just
I don't
depends
know.
on
That's
the price,
just
I
like,
guess. So, like, what is his case
Yeah.
in 28 a year? It's like, oh shoot, okay, maybe.
probably not. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm high on Kaysen, but I've seen people be like, yeah, he'll be like Drew, bare minimum.
Yeah.
And it's like, do
Bare
you know what you're
minimum?
saying? Yeah.
Drew Holiday?
Yeah, like, they got like almost won Defensive Player of the Year a few times.
Yeah. Shout out to Kaysen. I ended up I think Kaysen was the guy. I was torn on our 25 under 25, Kaysen and Lively, and I went Lively just because, like, I think if we're taking, like, you know, firm role player ceiling, I just love rim protector that can catch lobs and do a couple other things. Like, it's a very, and we've glazed Lively enough, I suppose, but like it is just an archetype that I think is just so steady in today's NBA. Back to Coop.
I mean, if we want to glaze, you know, Nico at all, in his vision, you know, the league has trended massive.
Yeah.
One of my guys, Kevin Gray, a local Dallas media guy, he tweeted this. I couldn't believe it, but he said it was true. That NBA exec or scout or something hit him up and was like, yeah, like where teams are building to, like, for the Mavs size and like the Rockets size. But like they specified the Mavs.
Nice.
And it was like, what? Is Nico a genius?
I mean, yeah. Well, because when we were talking about him earlier, and it was like he has been shrewd. I can imagine him being like, everyone's pissed about the Luka move, and he's like, oh, getting PJ doesn't matter anymore. All my margin moves just out the window. Everyone, I guess I'm the asshole now. But I mean, truly, outside of like that extremely polarizing move, to put it lightly, I guess, it does feel like there is a very clear vision for what this team is supposed to be, and it's a roll of the dice because of the health and everything. But tying it back to like getting Cooper Flag, it is just.
But
like,
that's
oh,
not part
sweet.
of the vision. Like, if it wasn't
it's
here,
not part of the
it's
vision,
way off.
But
the
it's a
rails.
cherry. It's a cherry on top because it's not like the obvious number one overall pick is like a small guard or something. It's a guy who very firmly slots into the vision of what the team is already supposed to be, and so it's cool.
Yeah. I still, to this day, I'm so curious what they would have done if they just had the 11th pick. Like, so curious. Would they have stayed and drafted, like, Kasparis Yakuchones?
Were there reports about anything? About who they liked at that spot?
No. I think they would have traded for somebody. I think
Come
they
on,
probably would have been a little bit more.
We're going
They-
huge. We're the biggest team ever assembled.
I think they would have been a little bit more aggressive on a KD move, personally.
Oh,
But
there
I
was
don't
a
know
lot
what
of
that really
smoke
would have
about
looked like.
that was his dream team, his dream AD and KD. But yeah,
Oh, well, here we go. Wow, look at this. Breaking Mavs news. Delano Banton has signed with the Mavs.
DB Hooper.
Where are we getting these training camp spots?
there's a lot of guys on this team.
I know. They had a guy come in last night, Musa Cisse, and I was like, I did not know this guy was on our team.
Nice. Welcome to the squad, baby.
Yeah, I was like, well, I saw Cisse on the back of his jersey. I was thinking, what was the dude's name on the Spurs?
Yeah. What is that guy's name? Oh,
I was like, did we get him?
Sissoko.
Yeah,
Yeah, yes, yeah.
Where's Musa?
Yeah, and I was like, did we pick him up?
Oh, is this the guy? I might know this guy from Europe years ago. I think he had a little bit of draft type, but I don't know. He probably won't stick on the roster. But yeah, Cooper
No,
is a really talented passer, And if it was just about the passing, like he might be like a legit stand-in point guard for this team. I think it is just the handle at this stage where I don't know if he can
for sure.
hold up full-time handling to running the offense through that. But yeah,
I mean, if he had an NBA ready handle on top of everything else, that would be a crazy prospect.
I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, I think last night he had some possessions where I just thought he picked the dribble up way too early. Mm-hmm. But it felt more to me, and I agree with the handle thing. His handle's nowhere near good enough to be a lead ball handler right now. But it felt more to me like, oh, I've already taken like 3 dribbles. I need to pass out. Like we can't slow down the offense waiting for me to do stuff, which I think was just more of a comfortability thing. Like there was a funny possession. AD is at the top of the key. Flag's trying to post up Case and Wallace. AD throws him an entry pass. Flag does a couple dribbles and passes out. And then AD is like pointing at him, like, get back in the post and post his ass up. Like, this is what we want you to do. So I think it's just, rookie. Hey, it's just crazy when he's 18.
Yeah.
And like super young. It's just insane that he's as young as he is. So there will be some moments where it's just like, dude, we drafted you number 1 overall. Go out and do stuff. Like, you don't have to make the extra pass every time.
Quit deferring to D'Angelo Russell. Put the shot up. Yeah.
We drafted you 101. Like, you're the guy.
He was born December 21st, 2006. You know what happened 6 years later, December 21st? The world was supposed to end in 2012.
Wow.
I bet he was terrified out of his mind on his birthday. I know.
I bet they didn't even have a birthday party.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Just because they were probably in their bunker.
I would ask for a life jacket.
I remember
for my birthday.
I remember I was in middle school and there was like a kid genuinely broke down crying on that day because he was like, the world's gonna end today, and I was like, yo.
Oh, I was watching YouTube videos. There was a stretch where I was like, yeah, it does. Everything adds up here.
The Mayans they knew stuff. Dude.
I do remember having like a very clear mind. I have a specific memory that morning being like, nothing I can do about it if that's what's going down today.
Man. Cooper, it's a little tough. I don't know what his calling card is going to be offensively, especially year 1, because he's a guy who checks every box, but he's not it's not 100% refined weapon for any of them. So how do you envision Cooper? Because he did a lot of mid-range creation in the NBA, but now he got the ball against Case and Wallace. He's like, I don't know, versus somebody like Bryce Sensabaugh, which is go right to work and just to shoot a turn on mid-range and cook. His shooting has definitely progressed, but he's not like a lifelong 40% shooter. Like, he's not like drafted like Jordan Hawkins coming into the league. Then I don't know if he shot well since he's gotten in the league, but
I don't think so. I think he was good his rookie year, and then I think he fell off.
How will Cooper be deployed? Like, let's say when he's not bringing the ball up, are they going to run him off screens and try and get him downhill? Are they going to let him get like secondary ISOs? Are they going to use him as a roll man? Or how do you expect to see him put out there?
Yeah, I think it'll be a mix of all of that, really. I think it'll be... I'm hopeful that we'll see him set a lot of ball screens because anything I watched from Duke, I was like, those were the possessions I was like, that's sick. Like, if they can get, Flag setting a ball screen and then going on a short roll with like Lively in the dunker spot, I love that. That's a great option. They did that a few times last night. So that's something that I would like to see. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, it's the Mavs are just gonna look so much different offensively than what we're used to seeing over the last few years. And again, I don't really want to take too much stock in one preseason game, but it's all we've had so far. And they noticed the ball was moving, and guys were cutting, and guys were setting off ball screens for each other. So I do think you'll see Flag. To answer your question, I don't think he'll be like spotting up in the corner and just standing there. I think you'll see him cutting, you'll see him set ball screens. I think ideally what the Mavs ultimately want to do is like, all right, let's get the defense into a position where like one of our athletes has the ball and is coming downhill, whether that's AD or Flag or even PJ, one of those guys where like defense is like, oh, this big dude's coming downhill, like we got to help. Then we'll have a big in the dunker spot. So it's like, okay, we got to make sure we tag the dunker spot guy. And then it's just a read from there. All right, I can go for a layup. I can dump it off. I can kick out to the corner. Like that's probably what you'll see. So I think they'll deploy him in a bunch of different ways. That's the dream, at least. I hope they don't revert to being like super slow and now Flag's just in a corner.
It'd be sick to get. We got rid of our only non-athlete. We're still taking our time. We're a methodical team.
Yeah, we're just gonna run pick and rolls now with another guy and just hope for the best.
We're just gonna put D'Lo in the Luka chair. Hope for the best. How will the Luka shadow impact Cooper over the course of his career? Do you think it'll be like just permanent? Like every time he has a bad game, Luka wouldn't have had this bad game. Like how good does Cooper have to be to shake those expectations?
Yeah, I don't. That's a really good question that I don't know. I don't really like the feeling in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. There isn't like he's got to be as good. Like all the Luka anger falls on Nico solely.
Yeah.
And like everyone's excited for Coop. So I don't know how much of it will be like this guy has to be Luka immediately. I haven't like felt that. There probably will be some national, pressure. But I saw Mark Spears was on ESPN yesterday, and he was like, "Why is the league is messed up because Flag's coming late and no one's talking about him? Like, there's not this much hype." And I'm like, "Well, it's because anytime you talk about the Mavs in like a national media, everything has to be prefaced with like, well, the trade, of course, the trade was horrible. Like, and I've been guilty of that. Where anytime I'm like, yeah, this Mavs team, I have to be like, well, the trade was awful, because otherwise people are like, you're a Nico defender. And
Yeah, I mean, it's tough.
I've been accused of being paid by the organization. It's just like, why? Because I said Lively's good? I don't understand.
This guy's getting money from the DNC
Let me ask
to
you.
avoid criticizing Nico Harrison.
There was a video of Nico Harrison eating dinner with his daughter, and some guys heckled him outside the window. You saw.
Uh-huh.
Do you approve of that, or do you disapprove of that?
I don't have a strong opinion on it. I wouldn't do something like that.
He's paid. I celebrate it. I say, get more guys at the window. Take his food off his plate.
He shouldn't feel safe.
What? Because what was it? It was like, we fucking hate you, man. Like, it was a little intense. It was something like that. But I'm like, all right, that's a little, at a family dinner at Twin Peaks, which is hilarious.
Was
Although
that?
I have gone on the defense about guys.
He brought his daughter.
Guys, like Twin Peaks has had a recent sort of corporate change, I think. They're not as restaurant-y as they once were.
Puritanical America.
So it's a little bit more family friendly.
They're just mountain themed now.
Yes.
They're David Lynch
now it's more
themed.
cabin. Like,
It's spooky. So there's an air of mystery in the restaurant. It's something
Nice. Yeah.
it's not like a tight end. Is the tight ends a chain? Have you guys ever heard of the tight ends? Or is that just a Dallas thing?
I've not heard of tight end.
Well, just do the math in your head of what that type of establishment is like.
Okay, a little wordplay from the horny people down in Texas.
Nice.
From the
I went there once with friends to watch a sporting event. I was like, dude, this is preposterous. Like, this just doesn't even feel like right, honestly.
I've never understood like the appeal. I'm like I'm trying to be bricked up eating, especially Hooters. I never understood. Can I get a big ass plate of food I need to like eat with my hands and a huge boner, and I'll be good to go? It's like what are we doing? I don't know.
The Hooters thing is weird because Hooters has good wings, like through and through.
Yeah,
I'm a Hooters wing appreciator.
My friend's mom from the Philippines loves Hooters because of the food.
Yeah. So it's just funny because tight ends doesn't have good food. You go there to see like a poor woman's asshole basically, and that's basically what it is.
Great.
Like, I'm telling you, they're walking around. I'm like, this is insane.
You don't have to do this, please.
We need point guards where they guard themselves when they take your order. Don't look at me.
Yeah.
The point of entry. Every point of entry is
worse.
guarded.
The one time I was at tight end, you know how you can how the flashlight button's right here on your phone? Just can you be easily clicked? I accidentally turned on my flashlight under the table, and it looked as though I was taking a video. And I had to be like, oh, sorry, guys, my flashlight was on.
I cannot imagine a more mortifying. Like, I would literally leave
I will
the
go
restaurant.
through my camera roll right now, guys.
Oh my God.
I might kill myself after that. I don't know if I
Like,
can
genuinely, as
that.
someone who like if I take a wrong step in public, I'm like, I'm sorry, everyone. Holy fuck.
It was pretty mortifying. I mean, there's no way anyone believed me.
Yeah. I mean, that happened to me on the train one time where, like, a woman across from me was, like, staring at me, and I was like, the fuck is going on? And my flashlight was on,
Oh.
so I was like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. But yeah, to be in that at tight ends, I can't. That's a little worse.
Yeah, the tight ends. But to answer your question, yeah, I mean, I didn't really care one way or the other. But there were people who were like, yes, we need to make Nico Harrison uncomfortable every step he takes on the streets. I'm like, all right, guys, he's not like a Medicare healthcare CEO. Like,
It's worse. Well, okay, he's a father, a man of faith. You know, we can't just go attacking these people. No. Okay. Well, hour and a half. That's what I usually aim for. These fucking previews, and the tight ends got us there. So
In Illinois, we have
appreciate
tilted
the change.
kilt. Do you guys have that or no?
nope, I've never heard of
Are
tilted
they
kilt.
Scottish?
I've never been in. So
All right, Slightly. Anything you want to plug? Well, you have the platform here before we head off.
YouTube.com/slightlybiased, Twitter @biasslightly. That's it, really.
It'll all be in the description below, guys. Thank you for tuning in. And David Robinson, take us away.
Basketball is an endurance race. Whoever's got something left to give in the fourth quarter wins. 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 Win. 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 Up tempo means I'm gonna run you into the ground.